from NBT Bank Stadium on another gorgeous night for baseball. The Syracuse Mets continue their 6-game series against the Indianapolis Indians. And welcome inside our Visit Syracuse broadcast booth with Jack Gordon. I'm Michael Tricarico. Happy to have you joining us. And Jack, main story of this one is Jonah Tong back to the mound for the Mets. He was awesome in his AAA debut last week. He's got some of the best stuff, as they call it, anywhere in baseball.
Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find a minor league pitcher who's had a better season than Tong. He's first in ERA, first in strikeouts, almost every category in the books. This man is dominating. AAA debut was fantastic, 5 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts. It's pretty clear that it hasn't taken him long to make that transition. I don't think he's too far away from the big leagues either.
The thing that I love so much about Jonah Tong is just how much he enjoys the game of baseball. You're always going to find a smile on his face unless he is just locked in and dialed in to the task at hand like he is right now. A guy that has been such a pleasure to be around, and he just handles business with such professionalism. When we talked to Syracuse Mets pitching coach A.J. Sager ahead of Jonah's AAA debut last week, he said, look, we're not going to overload him with information. We're just going to let him ease right into his start. Not going to see him throw a ton of different pitches. It's going to be a lot of fastball, a lot of changeup, a little bit of the curveball, and boy, did that work. Didn't need much to get through 5 2/3 scoreless against a good Rochester lineup.
Yeah, heck, I don't know if he needs information. I mean, I think the stuff speaks for itself, and we'll talk about it throughout the game, but he is very, very unique as a pitcher.
He's going to be challenged against this Indianapolis lineup, which has been one of the best lineups across minor league baseball and the International League all season long. Starts with, some young prospects like a Rafael Flores, but I mean, 1 through 9, it is one of the depthiest lineups that any minor leaguer can face.
They're a team that just manages to score runs no matter what. Top 5 in the league in runs scored. They don't hit a ton of home runs. We touched on that yesterday. Just a lot of solid hitters from top to bottom.
Syracuse with some good hitters on their side as well, including Joey Meneses, who gets the start at first base. He hit one of 3 Syracuse home runs last night. As Jonah Tong takes the mound, it's Alika Williams who digs in on the right-hand side, and we're just about to go here at NBT Bank Stadium. Tong works from the full windup, and the right-hander's first pitch is fouled straight back for strike 1. 95 miles an hour. We're underway at 6:38.
Little different from that first pitch of his AAA career, which went about 55 feet last week in Rochester. A little more comfortable.
I think any nerves that may have been there have washed away. Here's the 0-1 swing and a pop foul, first base side out of play, and it's 0-2.
Just like that, he's ahead with 2 strikes on a couple of fastballs. You're going to see a lot of 4-seam fastballs today. It's not because he doesn't have other pitches. He can just throw a lot of strikes with it.
Well, he's ahead 0-2 on Williams. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a pop foul, first base side out of play. And, well, the game plan for Tong early, pretty apparent. Let's challenge these guys with fastballs.
Most pitchers just can't get by throwing mostly heaters throughout a game. You can become a special type of pitcher when you have a great fastball.
0-2 is in the dirt. Went with a changeup that time and didn't get Williams to chase. Counts 1-2.
Fun thing about Tong is that he throws a lot of changeups to right-handers, too. A lot of right-handed pitchers throw them exclusively to lefties. He's comfortable either side of the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul, third base side. We said this is going to be a good challenge for Jonah Tong. Look, Rochester had a good lineup, but I think Indianapolis just takes it to a whole new level. Just 1 through 9. You got Solak, the number 3 hitter, who's essentially led the league in batting average for most of the season. Williams at the top of the order is always a tough guy to get out. Only 58 strikeouts in 87 games. Here comes the 1-2. Swinging a ground ball, sharply hit into center field for a hit. Challenged him with another fastball, but this time Williams up to the task and a leadoff hit for Alika Williams and the Indianapolis Indians, which gives us a chance to tell you about Syracuse defense with Jared Young in left, Jose Azocar in center, and Luke Ritter in right. Luis De Los Santos at third, Jet Williams at short, Yanni Hernandez at second, and Joey Meneses at first, with Ali Sanchez behind the plate catching. First game with Syracuse this season, although it is not his Mets organizational debut. Here's Nick York batting from the right-hand side. The pitch is inside for ball one. Sanchez, who's behind the plate catching, actually played here for Syracuse in 2019, spent 21 games in AAA, and actually played for the New York Mets in 2020 during that COVID-shortened season. 1-0. That misses upstairs with the changeup, and it's 2-0. Tong in his first start went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, walked 2 batters, but didn't allow runs, struck out 9 batters. Seemed like he almost really never found himself in that much trouble. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a looper down the right field line, but hooking out of play foul, shifting the count to 2-1. Tong's start came last Saturday, August 16th. Did allow a runner to get to third base twice, although one of those times was because of an error. 2 balls and a strike on York. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive foul. First base side out of play, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, he didn't let a man on base until the 9-hitter. He was just cruising, had 4 strikeouts first time around in the order. Difference with Indianapolis is I think they have their lineup is similar to Syracuse, where there's a lot of major league ready guys, some that have big league experience but are in AAA right now. Just a lot of guys that are kind of pesky for you.
2-2 on York, with Williams leading off at first. And a throw to first has Williams back safely with the head first slide. Syracuse wearing their salt potato tops, navy blue tops. Syracuse written in a potato brown across the chest, outlined in a buttery yellow color, and numbers in that same color combo. Back of the jersey and on the left abdomen. 2-2 on York, the pitch. Swing and a loop foul down the left field side, out of play. And this is where, with a good AAA lineup, things can be a little bit different than what you might see down in AA. That's the jump.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we kept seeing just fastball and changeup from him based on these first 2 hitters that have seen him pretty well.
Here's the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball left side through into left field for a hit. That was the changeup from Tong. And while York was out in front of it, there was a big hole on that left side. Runners at first and second after a couple of 2 goals from the first 2 batters in the Indian.
You know, probably would have liked to see that pitch a few inches lower, diving below the strike zone, especially in a 2-2 count. Had an opportunity to not necessarily waste one, but try to make York chase right there.
Well, now here's Nick Solak. Tong already up to 12 pitches. If Indianapolis has done one thing really well early, it's make him work. First and second, nobody out. The pitch misses high for ball 1.
Well, good sign is that Tong has gotten 2 ground balls already. 1 on the fastball, 1 on the changeup, and that's what you need right here.
1 ball, no strikes on Solak. The pitch, swing and a fly ball in the air to center. It's moving Azokar back, but he's got room underneath to make the catch. Williams tagging from third. York tagging from first, and the throw is in time to get him. An ill-advised move from York to try and advance to second base. Azokar made a bullseye of a throw to second and helps out the young pitcher for the second out.
No, York's a good athlete, but that's a mistake right there. Azokar is a major league center fielder, and you just took away the opportunity for your team to have 1 out and a runner at third. You know, who cares whether the runner's at first and second? You got to put a run on the board in the first inning if you have runners early on like this.
So now here's Cam Devaney batting from the right-hand side. Tong delivers. First pitch, outside corner for a strike. And I feel like that gives Jonah Tong even more confidence.
Oh, big time, because now there's just 2 outs, and he's got confidence in his defense. Great throw by Azokar, and a perfect tag by Yanni Hernandez, spinning all the way around, too.
Still a runner at third, 2 outs. The pitch, swing and a miss on the changeup, and it's 0-2. Boy, how quickly an inning can change. Tong not out of the woods just yet, but an opportunity to punctuate this first with an exclamation point. 2 outs, top 1, runner at third. No balls, 2 strikes, the count, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, Jet Williams coming to bat for the first time today for the Syracuse Mets. Syracuse starting lineup 1 through 9, featuring Jet Williams at the top and a slew of players with plenty of experience right in the heart of this Mets order. Syracuse facing Drake Fellows on the mound for Indianapolis, and the right-hander's first pitch is swung on and grounded to third on a low-line drive. I guess it was caught by Williams. A low liner never hit the ground, so Williams makes the catch and one away with the Indianapolis defense featuring Alika Williams at third, Sung-Chae Cheng at short, Cam Devaney at second, Nick Solak at first, York in right, Bowen in center, Siani in left, and Sullivan behind the plate catching. First pitch to Jose Azocar, bunted foul, backhand to the left, and the count is 0-1.
You know, I'm sure that's frustrating for Jet. He's had somewhat of a slow series so far. Ripped that ball 99 miles an hour. Sinker in her third. Right pitch to swing at. A little unlucky.
No balls to strike. The pitch to Azocar, swinging a pop foul first base side. That's one of those for Williams. You could be disappointed in the end result, but still happy with kind of the process to get there. Drake Fellows on the mound, a workhorse for this Indianapolis pitching staff. 27 appearances, including 13 starts. As the curveball's fouled away again by Jose Azocar. Ball just bouncing and rolling slowly atop the Syracuse dugout of the first base side. A couple of fans were reaching, just waiting for that ball to roll back down to the first row of seats. Here's another 0-2. That misses outside, counts 1-2. Boy, that wind is blowing very strong out towards center field. If that keeps up, there might be a couple of balls hitting the air that don't seem like they're going to get out initially and do. 1-2. Swinging a soft grounder, hit to third. Williams fields and throws to first after a step for the second out of the frame. So a couple of quick outs for Fellows, the 27-year-old right-hander. That brings Jared Young back to the plate for the Mets. Young, a 30-year-old, batting from the left-hand side, hitting .284 this season in 58 games. Good power with 13 homers, 10 doubles, and a pair of triples. OPS well better than 900 this season for Young. As the first pitch misses off the plate for ball one. Fellows way off of the first base side of the rubber. 1-0 pitch, swinging a ground ball, sharply hit through into right field for a hit. Young takes a big turnaround first, but ends up holding there as the throw came in from the outfield. So Jared Young, after an off day yesterday, doesn't miss a beat coming back. Sharply hit ball to the right of second for the 2-out hit.
You have to be a different kind of strong to turn that into a base hit. Change up about an inch off the plate outside, yet he finds a way to pull it into right center field. You can really only do that when you can swing hard and hit the ball hard.
So now Young leads off of first with Pablo Reyes at the plate. Fellows from the stretch, the pitch. Breaking ball strike, curveball in the inside corner, and the count's 0-1. Fellows has spent the entire season here in AAA. Got up to AAA at the end of last year. Spent his last few years in the Pirates organization as the 0-1 misses blown outside ball one. Went to school at Vanderbilt, Illinois native himself. That's where he attended high school. Was originally born in Indiana. Was drafted by the San Diego Padres in the 6th round of the 2019 draft. Reyes lifts this ball in the air foul, first base side out of play. Interestingly enough, Fellows, before he even pitched in an actual game in the Padres organization, was traded to the Pirates, drafted in 2019, then 2020 was lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's the 1-2. Young takes off, and Reyes pops this in the air, left side of the infield. It's the second baseman, Devaney, who makes the call and the catch for the final out of the frame. Syracuse strands a runner on base. We're scoreless after one on Valley Live on the score 1260. Back at NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse, it is Jonah Tong Day here at the ballpark, and a fan brought a tong here to the stadium. Can you imagine that being a giveaway? Like if Tong's pitching for the New York Mets, and
it'd be very, very fitting.
First 15, maybe like a little Father's Day, Jonah Tong
That's a
start.
great idea.
First 15,000 fans.
I mean, fan is short for fanatic. Never forget that.
True. Here's Rafael Flores leading off. First pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball, 95 miles an hour, strike one.
Great job by that fan, because I know he called the office before the game to make sure, hey, can I bring these kitchen tongs? They said, I don't see why not.
Here's the 0-1. Misses low for ball one.
I know our friend Mark in the ticket office got the call. He was a little confused.
Yeah.
But
as any of us would be, right?
What is he, making pasta tonight or something?
Maybe he's working at Scooch's Barbecue. 1-1, inside ball two. Got the ribs cooking on the grill.
That should be a giveaway one day. I know you put like his number on it, or maybe his face. If anyone would love that, it'd be him.
Oh,
He'd be all for it.
He'd be all over it. 2 balls and a strike on Rafael Flores. No outs in the second. Pitch lifted in the air, well, right center field. Long run back of Zokar to the track near the wall. It's off the wall for a hit. Knocked down by Jose as Flores eases into second with a leadoff double. Boy, that ball was smoked. Fortunately, the wind had died down. Otherwise, that thing might have gotten out of here. But it is a double for Flores, who this week is really starting to heat up.
I mean, Flores has some serious pop. That was a next to perfectly executed pitch by Tong. It was just barely on the low outside corner of the plate, a fastball around 95, and Flores still smoked it. He has some real power.
Well, now here's Sammy Ciani batting from the left-hand side. Tong set. Here's the pitch. Bunted foul back behind home plate. Ciani, after seeing that ball go behind him, just slapped the barrel of his bat with his right hand, saying, come on. Come on, Pat, be better. No ball is a strike on Ciani. It's like the fielder who looks at the glove when the ball glances off it for an error. 0-1. Fastball missed low. Ciani this time was not squaring to bunt and counts 1-1.
It's like Shaquille O'Neal making a free throw, looking at his hand, being like, what just happened? How did that go in?
Yeah. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ciani. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. An excellent changeup that fooled him. Ciani was way out in front. And the count's now 1-2. You know, this is where great pitchers thrive. Even if they work themselves into a little bit of trouble, runner in scoring position, they just find ways to get out of it. And Tong has been one of those guys consistently here in minor league baseball this year. Here's the 1-2. And that misses low and in. Another changeup. It's 2-2.
Well, I love that he's not getting away from the game plan. He's allowed 3 hits, single in the first, double here to lead off the second. But it's all fastball changeup. He threw 1 slider last inning, but he's not straying away from the plan.
2-2. That misses low and in for ball 3.
You know, if you can get by mostly using 2 pitches your first time around in the order, you're a monster next time around, because he could break out the curveball, which might be his best pitch.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen it today.
Hasn't thrown one yet.
3-2 on Ciani. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul back into the left. And it's 3-2. And how many organizations are confident enough in a 22-year-old in AAA to say, yeah, just throw your fastball and your changeup?
Well, you know, this is where you experiment with it, right? Because, you know, Tong isn't likely to be on the Major League roster this year. Who knows? But this is the time to experiment.
3-2. High ball 4, so Ciani works a walk. And it's runners at first and second with Jace Bowen set to come to the plate.
Also keep in mind, he's working with a brand new catcher today. You know, Tong likely met Ali Sanchez just this week. Sanchez has been with Buffalo. He was with the Red Sox very briefly. Just joined the team a day or two ago. So this is brand new. That's never an easy thing, but Sanchez, very experienced catcher. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if these two got in sync pretty quickly.
Bowen bats right-handed. The first pitch misses high with the fastball, and it's 1-0. And give Indianapolis credit. They have been both patient at the plate and kind of a thorn in Tong's side, fouling away some really good pitches in that first inning. 1-0. Swinging a high fly ball, right center field. Ritter and Azokar back with room. Azokar's underneath. He makes the catch. Flores fakes a tag from second base. He wasn't going anywhere after seeing what Azokar did on an outfield assist last inning. Excellent job by Jose, and Tong made a nice little point out to center field, recognizing the outfielder's job. One away in the inning.
Yeah, great throw by Azokar. If he didn't have that kind of arm strength, or if that was offline, you don't want a guy at third with one out. That means a sacrifice fly or a ground out could score him. So, Tong's in a more comfortable situation here.
Now with one away, here's Brett Sullivan. And it's been, so interesting to see guys like Nolan McLean and Brandon Sproat and now Jonah Tong. And Tong maybe, a little different than McLean and Sproat because he doesn't throw as many different pitches. And obviously that's been taken to a new extreme this first couple of starts here in AAA, as the first pitch to Sullivan misses for a ball, pending a challenge from Ali Sanchez. This is going to be very close to the inside corner. It's the first curveball we've seen today, but it was the correct call from home plate umpire Sean Sparling.
Interesting time to break it out. I know when we saw Brandon Sproat and McLean start to experiment with the curveball, sometimes it would be with 2 strikes as a surprise.
Here was to begin the at-bat. 1-0, swinging a tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 1.
Pitchers like Tong, McLean, Sproat that are very cerebral, they have a plan. They know how they want to attack you and set you up for something that you don't want to do.
1 ball and 1 strike on Sullivan. Here's the pitch. Half swing and a miss at the fastball. 93 miles an hour, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, he didn't want to swing.
Which is weird because that was a pitch that was over the plate. That's how much he was fooled.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Sullivan. 1 out, top of the second. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball center field. Staying in the park again. Azokar drifting in underneath to make the catch for the second out of the inning. Both runners stay put. And again, despite getting into a little bit of trouble, Tong has done enough to work himself out of it for now.
Yeah, I love it so far. He's mostly pounding the zone, walked 1 batter, but Indy's made this hard. They have fouled off a lot of good pitches, and they really haven't chased anything.
Well, now here's the number 9 hitter for Indianapolis, Sung-Chae Cheng, who has been really good this week for Indianapolis. A tough out for the Mets, although he did go 0 for 3 yesterday. That's from the left-hand side. First pitch. Curveball, strike. Counts 0-1. Cheng, the first game this week, had 4 RBIs, had a pair of doubles, plus an RBI and a ground out. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a fly ball, center field. Azokar sprinting back, still back, reaching up, and making the catch for the final out of the frame. To some applause, not just from Mets fans, but Jonah Tong as he walks off the field to the third base Mets dugout. Boy, Azokar started to get going, and once that engine churned, there was no stop. Luke Ritter leads off for the Mets. First pitch from Drake Fellows is over the plate for strike 1. No score between the Syracuse Mets and the Indianapolis Indians. So we start the bottom of the second. 0-1. This is lone outside for ball 1. Well, Fellows is 27 years old, a guy who played 3 seasons at Vanderbilt before he was drafted by the Padres. 1-1. Misses high for ball 2. Guy who came into college with some high pedigree. In fact, he was just the second freshman at the time to be a weekend starter for Vanderbilt under the head coach at the time, Coach Corbin at Vanderbilt. A head coach that just loved the competitiveness, described Fellows as being consistent and durable, and he showed that in college. 2-2. Swinging a clip foul back into the left. A curveball from Fellows. Ritter just caught a piece of it. No, then Fellows gets traded before he pitches in the Padres organization in an actual game. 2-2 misses high for ball 3. And at the time, that was a pretty big trade. Trade that sent Joe Musgrove from the Pirates to the Padres. The Mets were actually part of that trade. Here's the 3-2. Low ball 4. So Ritter works a walk. That's Syracuse's first walk of the game, brought to you by Syracuse.com. Like the ballpark, Syracuse.com connects our community with the stories we share. Stay connected with Syracuse.com. They've got some great things to try at the New York State Fair as well. At the State Fair going on this week and next week, all the way through Labor Day. First pitch to Joey Meneses is over the plate for strike 1. Back to Fellows, though. Yeah, the trade, it was January 19, 2021. Joe Musgrove went from the Pirates to the Padres. The New York Mets ended up trading catcher Endy Rodriguez to the Pirates. Pitch here ends up missing in, 1-1 the count. The Padres sent Joey Lucchesi to the New York Mets. And then the Padres traded, get this, David Bednar, Hudson Head, Drake Fellows, and Omar Cruz to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the 1-1. Misses lone outside for ball 2. No, Fellows, of course, still in the Pirates organization, but David Bednar earlier this season was traded to the New York Yankees, which brought current catcher Rafael Flores from the Yankees here to the Pirates organization. Now he's playing with Indy. 2-1, misses outside to Meneses, and it's 3-1. It's just funny sometimes how, you look at how a guy got to a certain organization and it's a trade that happened, 4 years ago, and sometimes things come full circle. One of the players that Fellows was traded with ends up being the result of a catcher on this team now being in this Pittsburgh Pirates organization. But back-to-back walks here from Fellows. That's going to send the current catcher, Brett Sullivan, out to the mound to chalk to Fellows. And Syracuse has runners at first and second. And, Jack, it's amazing, the dynamics of baseball ball game, right? Like the first 2 innings, Indianapolis had great opportunities to score, but they didn't. And now Syracuse, after only 1 2-out base runner in the first inning, gets back-to-back walks to start the second, and now it's the Mets who just like that can take the lead, and you go, oh, geez, it seems like Indianapolis has been kind of dominating this game early, and the Mets can all of a sudden just have the lead.
Yeah, Indy made a big mistake early in the game, getting thrown out at second base. Could have had an opportunity to score in that inning. Good defense helped the Mets again at the top of the second. And here, you've got a chance served up on a platter.
Is there a better guy to have up right now than Yanni Hernandez? I don't know. First pitch. Swinging a line drive, left side through, into left center field for a hit. Ritter's getting to third base. He gets the stop sign there. He had to wait to make sure that ball got through. And Ciani, the left fielder, tossed that one in quickly. But it is another base hit for Yanni Hernandez, who just continues to rake. That's now 26 straight games on base for Yanni Hernandez.
I know sometimes these Yanni Hernandez stats sound a little mythical. Well, he's hitting over 450 with runners in scoring position. 450! Almost half the time he comes up with somebody at second and or third, he gets a hit.
Come on. But now he's at first, bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Ali Sanchez, first pitch. This is up and in with the curveball, ball 1. Well, Sanchez can certainly become a very quick fan favorite this season with a hit to put the Mets in front. No score, bottom 2. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss with the curveball for strike 1. Well, the New York Mets with Francisco Alvarez on the injured list wanted to add some new catcher to the organization that at least brings some major league experience, and Sanchez is that guy. I think it makes a lot of sense, too, because he's familiar with the organization. Played here in Syracuse in 2019. He actually made his major league debut with the New York Mets in 2020. Here's the 1-1. Sanchez swings, grounds it left side, backhand and a sliding stop. Chang, who throws to second to get one. The turn to first, not in time. Ritter scores from third. It's an RBI and the fielder's choice ground out for Ali Sanchez. And the Mets do take the lead. It's 1-0.
Well, Sanchez really just had to put the ball in play there, and a run was going to score. Really nice job just to make something happen and get Ritter in. You love to have a 1-0 lead, especially, the way that this series went early on. Mets couldn't get the offense going. Good to see some life here in the second inning.
Now we'll see if the Mets can tack on with Luis De Los Santos at the plate. First pitch is high for ball one. Meneses is at third. Sanchez is at second. The Mets have the lead, 1-0 Syracuse. 37 RBIs for De Los Santos. Pitch here, looped in the air, shallow right, long run in for York, who makes the catch. Meneses tagging from third base. He's coming home trying to score, and he does. That ball was up the third base line. Meneses, on a little bit of a delay, decided that he was going to score. As that throw was coming in a bit offline, it's a sac fly for De Los Santos and a 2-0 Mets lead.
Well, think about how the Mets have scored runs today and how Indy hasn't. They had an opportunity squandered by a mistake on the base paths, and now a poor throw just cost them another run. I mean, the Mets have finally turned it around and been executing better than the other team.
Pitch to Jet Williams, lasered left center field. That's down for a hit. Sanchez up to second. And Williams off the snide with another hard hit baseball. This inning continues with runners at first and second, and Jose Azocar coming to the plate.
Got a hanging curveball right down the middle, and twice today he's swung at the first pitch. Twice he's hit it hard, but this time it pays off.
So now it's runners at first and second for Syracuse, and Azocar coming to the plate, batting from the right-hand side. First pitch, swinging a ground ball right side. Nice sliding stop, Solak. Race to the bag is won by the first baseman to beat Azocar for the final out of the frame. But the Mets do score 2 runs in the inning, and it's 2-0 Syracuse. Well, Mark Rowland's back in our Score 1260 studios with Jack Gordon. I'm Michael Tricarico. Happy to have you joining us on this nice Saturday night here in Syracuse. Mets in front 2-0, and Jonah Tong back to the mound for the Mets. Well, Tong has been able to work himself out of some trouble in both the first and second innings with a lot of help from his defense, including center fielder Jose Azocar. It's the top of the order due up for Indianapolis with Alika Williams at the plate, batting right-handed. First pitch from Tong is off the plate for ball one. Jack, what are you looking for from Tong now the second turn through the order? What are some of the keys going to be?
I'm interested to see if he does mix it up because we mostly saw a fastball changeup. His command was pretty sharp.
Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball strike. Went with a slider that time.
Yeah, I really want to see how he does with 2 strikes because first time around in the order, just 1 strikeout, but it feels like Indy spoiled a lot of good pitches.
Williams was one of the culprits of that, as the 1-1 here is swung on and missed for strike 2. In fact, it was a 2-strike single that Alika Williams hit to begin the ball game. That came on the 6th pitch. And then also on the 6th pitch, the next batter, Nick York, had a 2-strike single.
Yeah, they've made him work. You know, he's almost at 40 pitches so far.
1-2 the count on Williams. Here comes the pitch from Tong. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Second turn through the order, no problem. It's the second strikeout for Jonah Tong. 1 away here in the third.
Yeah, I think the thing that was a little different from when he threw that type of pitch in the first inning, he left it in the strike zone. There it's a couple inches higher and a lot harder to hit.
So now with 1 away, here's Nick York batting right-handed. He singled his first time up through the left side of the infield. First pitch, swing and a miss with the slider for strike 1. Yeah, already seeing the difference, now utilizing that slider, where he didn't do that the first turn through the order. No ball is a strike on York. Tong on the third base side of the rubber. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike. It's 0-2.
And it's made these hitters, look pretty surprised so far. Watching it come in and thinking, oh, boy, wow, that moved a lot. Where did that come from? If they had seen that in the first inning, you don't get as surprised when it, can shock you for the first time.
He only threw 3 sliders in his AAA debut. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Then it's 97 miles an hour with the fastball and back-to-back punch-outs for Jonah Tong.
I mean, that's the same thing right there. He's getting surgical, just 3 pitches. It's the same sequence he gave to Alika Williams. Nick York wasn't ready for it. 2 sliders, swinging strike, called strike, 97 with the heater up high.
So now with 2 away, here's Nick Solak batting right-handed. Here's the first pitch from Tong. Called strike, 95 in the inside corner, 0-1.
I had a feeling we were going to see the velocity get dialed up a little bit, especially with 2 strikes. Your command doesn't have to be perfect. If you're just aiming high in the zone, not as pinpoint as strike 1 or strike 2.
Pitch here lifted in the air towards center field, sending a Zokar back towards the track, but well in front of the wall. He makes the catch for the final out of the frame, and it is a 9-pitch, 1-2-3 third for Jonah Tong as the Mets take a 2-0 lead. Well, we're back at NBT Bank Stadium where the Syracuse Mets lead 2-0 over the Indianapolis Indians. First pitch to Jared Young is taken high from Drake Fellows, and the count is 1-0. Well, with Jack Gordon, I'm Michael Tricarico, and we're joined by a special guest inside our broadcast booth as Young hits this left center field. Long run back in the gap. It's over the head and all the way to the wall. Fielded off the wall by Sammy Ciani, but Jared Young's into second base with a leadoff double here in the third.
Quick thought. Last week, Young was somewhat cold, only had 2 hits. They're both home runs. That tells you how good he can be even throughout what he might think is a slump. He's swinging the bat really well, even after not being in the lineup for a couple of days. He's gotten 2 pitches outside and hitting them really hard today.
Well, now here's Pablo Reyes batting from the right-hand side with Young at second. Here's the pitch. Bunted, third base side, fielded by Fellows, the pitcher, who throws to first in time for the out. That goes down as a sacrifice bunt. 1-3. That moves Young to third. All right, well, we have a third member of our crew joining us. This is Sam Miller. Here's our broadcaster for the day. Got a broadcaster for the day experience. Thanks for being here, Sam.
Of course, anytime.
So I understand you are a longtime Syracuse baseball fan. Like, we're talking back to not only the Chiefs days, but the Sky Chiefs days, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So who were some of your favorite players from back then?
I'm a big fan of Tyler Moore, Corey Brown, Zach Walters, and Tanner Rourke.
All members who were, I think, some folks who have been coming to games for a long time. Those are names that I think a lot of folks who are listening will know from the times of the Washington Nationals days.
Yep.
When they were here.
Yep.
2 balls and no strikes here on Ritter with Young at third, the pitch. And it's a called strike on the outside corner, shifting the count to 2-1.
So you've been a fan for a long time, Sam. What have you felt about this transition, into being in the Mets organization, seeing a brand new group of talent every year?
Well, I noticed when they were the Chiefs and when they were in the Nationals organization, the stadium looked a lot different. Like, they didn't have the 315 bullpen bar, and the bullpens were right onto the field, which I think it was fine, but I don't think it was really that safe to have them there, because I was kind of afraid that the ball might get onto the field if he threw it past the backup catcher.
I'm sure they don't mind being protected past the fence either.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they would mind at all, really. But yeah, at least they have the bullpens in behind the outfields now. Yep.
It's a 3-2 count on Luke Ritter. Well, you've also been to a lot of other stadiums, right? So Rochester, Scranton, Worcester, Lehigh Valley, Norfolk, Durham.
Wow.
Have you been to Pawtucket as well?
I have, yep.
So you've been to do you have a favorite road ballpark to go to?
I'd say maybe either Lehigh Valley or Pawtucket.
What did you like so much about those? Unfortunately, Pawtucket Stadium McCoy Stadium no longer around. But what did you like about those spots after this 3-2 pitch to Luke Ritter is outside for ball 4? So the Mets have runners on the corners for Joey Meneses.
So what I liked about Pawtucket is, we were like so high up. The seats were so high up above the dugouts, and when we wanted autographs, we had to like tie a rope and put it in like a bucket or something, and then roll it right down to their dugouts, and they would just sign whatever you left for them.
So, yeah, that for those that don't know, that was the unique aspect about McCoy Stadium. So that's where the AAA Red Sox used to be. The stands were above the dugouts. So you couldn't, like here in Syracuse, you can go down to the end of the dugout and just reach over, and the guys will be kind enough to come over and sign. But there, yeah, you would like tie a string to your clipboard that had some baseball cards on it, and almost like you were fishing. You would just I remember going, and they were just, before the players would even come out, you would just have clipboard all hanging down, and guys would come by and grab a marker and sign it, and then you just bring it right back up.
Yep.
1-1 strike here on Joey Meneses. Runners on the corners, and the pitch grounded foul, third base side for strike 2.
Sam, we were also told you were a big fan of former Chiefs broadcaster Kevin Brown, who now calls games for the Baltimore Orioles and on ESPN. What was it about Kevin that you liked listening to and watching back in the day?
Well, a long time ago when I was like 11 or 12 or 13, when my brothers and I stayed after for autographs, I used to see him on the video board all the time. And after the games, he came right out of the stadium, and I asked if he was Kevin Brown, and he said he was. And since then, we always talk to each other before and after games.
Nice.
Kevin's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy, yep.
Have you had an opportunity to watch him at all since he's been in Baltimore, or is it probably a little bit tougher to get those games? Do you try, though?
Every once in a while. Once in a while. Yep.
Well, the Syracuse Mets here lead 2-0 over the Indianapolis Indians. Runners on the corners, 1-2. Misses up and in to Meneses for ball 2. I know Mark Vientos was one of your favorite players from the time of the Mets. Do you have some guys you really enjoy on this team right now?
I enjoy Luke Ritter, Jared Young.
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, if Joey Meneses gets a hit here, he'll be all of our favorites. 2-2 misses low and outside, ball 3, and a throw to first as Ritter back standing up.
And I like Jet Williams, too. He's a pretty awesome player.
Yeah. Have you gotten any of their autographs yet?
No, not since they have the netting all over.
Ooh.
It's been really hard to.
A little tougher.
And since COVID hit us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might have to put in a word. Runner taken off as Meneses hits this down the left field line and foul. Ritter was taking off from first. Kind of like that play to try and stay out of the double play and at least make sure a run could come home and score. The Syracuse Mets lead 2-0 over the Indianapolis Indians. We're in the bottom of the third inning here. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Meneses. Ritter takes off again, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3, but it gets away from the catcher Sullivan, which allows Young to score. Well, that's one of the more unique plays you'll see. A strikeout with a run scoring, and we'll see if it's called a passed ball on a wild pitch. It was a high pitch nonetheless. It's a passed ball. You get a stolen base for Luke Ritter and a Syracuse run to make it 3-0.
I mean, think about how the Mets have scored runs today. RBI, fielder's choice, sacrifice fly, and now double from Young, sac, bunt, pass ball. That's good small ball right there.
Syracuse will take it. First pitch to Yanni Hernandez, looped in the air, shallow left center field, and the catch made for the final out of the frame. But Syracuse gets another run home, and we go to the 4th with the Mets in front 3-0 on Bally Live, and the score 12-16. Start of the fourth inning at NBT Bank Stadium. 3-0 Mets in front. And for the play-by-play, we turn things over to Jack Gordon.
Well, thank you, Michael. It's Jonah Tong back on the mound. He is set to face Cam Devaney, starting things off from the top of the fourth. Mets with a 3-0 lead, 2 runs in the second, 1 in the third. Tong, the right-hander, ready to go. He winds up and delivers the first pitch. Devaney takes a called strike with a changeup. It's 0-1. Well, up in the Visit Syracuse broadcast booth with Michael Tricarico, I'm Jack Gordon. We're joined by our radio broadcaster for the day, Sam Miller. Sam, thanks so much for hopping in the booth with us. Seems like you've been having fun so far. Enjoying your time up here?
I sure am, yep.
Well, this definitely isn't your first time putting on a headset. You've called some games before.
Yeah, I've in the past I announce the Westmoreland soccer games. Well, I don't do radio announcing for them, but I've done PA announcing for them. Like, I announce the starting lineups, the subs who are coming in, and the and who the coaches for each team are.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've also announced some Little League games in Rome, New York. My own hometown, Rome, New York.
Very cool.
Yep.
With 1 out, here's Rafael Flores. The first pitch is fouled back, 0-1.
Did you say you had siblings too?
Yep. I have 2 younger brothers.
Did you guys all play sports, or do they play? Did you play?
Yeah, we all played sports together. We did baseball, some soccer.
Nice.
Yeah, and they both done track, indoor track. And one of my brothers did swimming. I did swimming too in high school.
Nice, very cool. So I also hear you play a little men's league softball.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I play slow pitch softball in Rome, New York. I play at a park in my neighborhood.
Okay.
It's called Hazelton Park.
I'm sure you're just a problem for the other team, aren't you? Hitting the ball hard, playing defense.
Yeah, been playing solid lately.
There you go.
Oh, I mean, Syracuse might need you.
Yeah, keep that arm warm.
Keep your arm warm.
What's your favorite position to play out there?
I'd have to say probably second base.
Okay, nice. Crafty, middle infield. There you go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch is ripped into center field. The Zokar's got a beat. He dives, and he saves a hit and makes the catch. Wow, this is just the Jose Azokar game right now. Incredible play in center field, and there's 2 outs in the fourth.
I mean, you said it. Like, you could cut up Jose Azokar's highlights from the first 4 innings, and that might be the highlight reel for some guys for an entire season in the outfield. Doing it with his range, doing it going out, coming in, doing it with the arm. He's doing it all.
2 outs, first pitch to Sammy Ciani, a called strike. He threw out Nick York going into second base in the first inning. Made all 3 outs in the second, including a running catch that saved an extra base hit. Recorded an out in the third, and now a great diving catch to once again save a hit from going on the board. So Tong quickly ahead, 0-2 here. Already 4 strikeouts today. Sam, you like watching Tong so far?
Yeah, I really enjoy watching him.
He's been pretty sharp. No balls, 2 strikes on Ciani. Tong nods for the sign, winds up, and he fires. That one bounces a couple feet short, went with a curveball there. 0-1.
I know you've got a lot of different jerseys. Do you have a favorite?
I'd probably say SpongeBob.
There you go.
SpongeBob
Nice.
jersey. Syracuse Mets SpongeBob jersey?
Yep, that's the one.
Wow.
1-2 the count on Ciani. Tong winds up and throws. Swinging a grounder up the middle. Hernandez is there. Backhand stop. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. To the bottom of the fourth. Sam, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
3-0 Mets on our way to the bottom of the fourth. 3-0 Mets in the bottom of the fourth. Thanks to big help from that man right there. Jonah Tong taking a rest on the bench next to pitching coach A.J. Sager. He's tossed 4 scoreless. Ali Sanchez leads off against Fellows, and the first pitch is up high above the letters for ball 1. Tong has been operating today. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, 3 hits, just 1 walk. 1-0 pitch is swung on and bounced up the middle. The shortstop Chang fields, spins, throws, and with 1 hop, he makes the play to put away Sanchez. Great play by Chang over at short, and there's 1 away.
I mean, I've been so impressed with the range of some of these Indianapolis defenders. You know, I mean, a guy like Chang just
That was outstanding.
what a move. And then you got, I mean, a guy like Devaney, who we've seen at third, at short. All these infielders, seems like they can play all 3 positions, second, short, or third.
First pitch to De Los Santos, a called strike, and it's 0-1. Next pitch is taken for a ball low and away, 1-1. De Los Santos had the sacrifice fly that scored Joey Meneses in the second inning. It was a close play at the plate, but Joey made it in time. 1-1 is taken for a called strike, 1-2. Fellows, big mustachioed right-hander with a tan glove on his left hand. The 27-year-old pitching in his 28th game this year. 13 starts and 15 games out of the pen. 1-2. Breaking ball, foul tip down the right side. He's been much better as a reliever this year. In about 30 innings, he has an earned run average under 4 with over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. As a starter, he's struggled. ERA is up near 6 in 52 innings. Strikeouts a lot lower, too. 1-2 is a blooper in shallow center. Bowen sprinting in. Will he make it in time? Yes, he does. The running catch means there's 2 outs. Yeah, fewer than 7 strikeouts per 9 as a starter, over 10 as a reliever. This happens to guys pretty often. Sometimes their velocity's a little lower. Stuff is just a little less sharp, but Pirates are seeing what they can do with Fellows as a starter. First pitch to Jet is taken for a called strike, 0-1. 2 outs, bottom 4, 3-0 Mets. Here in Game 5 of the series. 0-1 pitch is taken for a called strike, 0-2. It's crazy to say this based on how the first 3 games went, but, don't want to jinx here, knock on wood. The Mets have a chance to tie this series still.
Right, now they do.
0-2 bounces low and away. Well, the first 3 games were tumultuous, to say the least. Syracuse was outscored 28-6. 6-5 loss Tuesday, 6-0 Wednesday, 16-1 Thursday. But a 5-0 win last night has seemingly turned things around a little bit. 1-2, bounce to second, fielded by Devaney, shoulder high. He flicks it to first, gets out number 3. Fellows retires the side in order, takes us to the 5th on a gorgeous night in Syracuse. 3-0 Mets on the score 1260 and Bally Live. Top of the 5th inning at NBT Bank Stadium. There is the giveaway today here in Syracuse. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Jonah Tong on the bump, Jace Bowen up to bat. First pitch is slapped foul to the right side, out of play. It's 3-0 Syracuse. Well, Syracuse gave away nesting dolls today.
Yes.
Salt potatoes nesting dolls. Do we have one in the booth?
Not in the booth currently.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to run and grab one.
Those are pretty cool. We're going to have to show them. 0-1 pitch. Bowen takes the ball inside. So picture what? They're Russian nesting dolls, I think it's called originally.
It's like, I forget what the first thing is, but then you open it up, it's the golden fork. Then you open that up, and inside of that there's Mr. Salt Potato. And you open that up, and it's Mrs. Salt Potato. And then it's little baby Spud Potato.
Very cool.
Yeah.
1-1's a called strike. Hi, guys. How you doing? Michael, Jack, thanks for tuning in tonight. The nesting dolls are pretty cool. I love that it's a unique giveaway.
Yeah.
Everybody loves jersey giveaways, which are awesome. They're very cool. But I don't think anyone's ever had any kind of nesting doll giveaway like this. 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. He pumped 96 right by him for his 5th strikeout of the night.
How fun is this, right? I mean, seeing a guy in Jonah Tong who is just getting better and better and better as the start goes along. A lot of fastball changeup early. He did that pretty much the entire game, mixing in the curveball occasionally against Rochester. had to adjust a little tonight, and boy, has he adjusted well.
First pitch to Brett Sullivan, ripped over to first, fielded by Meneses at his ankles. He jogs to first, taps it with his left foot, and gets the second out. Well, after throwing about 40 or so pitches early on in that third inning, that's what his pitch count was at. He's now thrown 60, and he's got 2 outs in the 5th. I mean, he has really turned it around.
Yeah, I mean, the efficiency, I think, obviously, over these last couple of innings has been so fun to watch, but just how he's surgically attacking these batters. I mean, he's really found a rhythm, and it's worked out very well.
2 outs in the 5th, Mets up 3-0. Here's the first pitch to Sung-Chae Chang. It's a wave and a miss at a fastball, 0-1. Fastball sitting between 94 to 96, touching up towards 97 today as a put away. It's got some great life to it. The 0-1 is taken for a ball outside, 95 with a heater, and it's an even count. And we saw Tong get through this order the first time around, pretty much only using a 4-seam fastball and his changeup. He's opened that up a little bit, but not too much. The 1-1, Chang watches a changeup go low for ball 2. We got a sneak peek of this in Rochester last week for Tong's first start. 5 2/3, just 3 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tong winds up and delivers. It's taken, called strike. 2-2. I mean, he has gotten a lot of called strikes with the fastball. He's got guys guessing.
Well, and I think that's the thing. Now that he's thrown the slider and curveball, the slider especially more, now I think guys aren't expecting, they can't sit on that fastball as often.
2-2 pitch is outside for ball 3. Well, honestly, I think this is the first 3-ball count he's been in since he walked Siani in the second inning, too. I mean, that goes to show the efficiency. He's either striking batters out or getting some weak contact early in the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tong puts him away for his 6th strikeout. 12 in a row retired by the Canadian Cannon. Bottom of the 5th, coming up next, Syracuse up 3-0. A beautiful Saturday evening here in Syracuse, New York, where the Salt Potatoes lead the Indianapolis Indians 3-0. Jose Azocar leads things off. The heart of the order is brought to you by St. Joseph's Health, Syracuse's heart care power hitters. Azocar 0 for 2 today with a couple of groundouts. He faces Drake Fellows for the 3rd time. Fellows from the first base side of the rubber deals. First pitch, a called strike, 89 with a sinker, and it's 0-1. Well, surprisingly, the Mets have somewhat bucked the trend of not hitting very well against pitchers that throw rather soft. 0-1 misses low and away, even count. It's funny to think about, but pitchers that throw around 88 to 92 have had a lot of success against the Mets this year. 1-1 pitch. Azocar slaps it foul to the right side, 1-2.
Yeah, it's almost like we've almost had to ask ourselves, is there a thing of striking out too few times? Like where you're putting balls in play that you're not going to drive, but it's a strike, so you're not striking out?
1-2, Azocar bounces it to short. Fielded by it is first, and there's one away.
Like, it almost sounds stupid, but sometimes, you know, if you're a team
that's
that's
take some risks sometimes.
Well, right. Like if you're swinging at pitches that are strikes but well placed strikes, where okay, you're going to put it in play, but you're not going to drive it. That's almost one where you just take as a strike. Now, obviously, if there's 2 strikes, that's a different story. But you know, almost sometimes I think Syracuse could be more selective. I think selective is the perfect word.
Well, here's a guy that drives the heck out of a ball, but this time he grounds to second. And they make the play for a quick second out.
I mean, it's just a great changeup, right? Like that out of the hands. I think Young's thinking fastball, and all of a sudden that's drifting. First of all, the speed of it's slowing down, and then it's drifting away from a left-handed batter. So once Young has already made the decision that he's swinging at that pitch, all you can do is roll over on it, and it's going to be an easy out.
First pitch to Reyes is a called strike, 0-1. Pablo Reyes, the cleanup hitter today, sponsored by ABM, the preferred janitorial services provider of your Syracuse Mets. 2 outs, bottom 5. 0-1 is outside. Mets lead it 3-0. 2 runs in the second inning off of an RBI fielder's choice and a sacrifice fly. And then 1 run in the third. That was on a pass ball. 1-1 pitch, grounder up the middle. This one leaks into center field. And Reyes is at first with a 2-out single. Just dug out that curveball that dropped below the knees, put it in play. So he's at first for Luke Ritter, who's had a great eye at the plate. And this is good to see out of Luke, who's looked a little more comfortable this week. Had a home run the other night. He's got a couple of hits. First pitch, Ritter bounces over to third. First is in time for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man stranded to the 6th. 3-0 Syracuse on the score 1260 and Valley Live. Top of the 6th at NBT Bank Stadium with Syracuse leading Indy 3-0. Top of the order for the Indians, Alika Williams leads off against Jonah Tong, who's retired 12 in a row. First pitch, he takes the ball just outside, a changeup, 1-0. Just 68 pitches for Jonah Tong through 5 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, 3 hits, just 1 walk. Puts the glove up near his chest, now winds up and throws. 1-0 is taken for a called strike, another changeup, 1-1. Oh, Jonah gave up 3 hits in the first and second innings and nothing since. Nods for the sign. 1-1 count. He twists and fires. Swing and a miss. 95 with a heater. Now he's in the 6th inning and the velocity hasn't wavered either. This is something that Jonah Tong has been working on. Now he's somewhat of a smaller guy, pretty lean, 6'1", 180. He dials it up. 1-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. A changeup to put away Williams. He's got 7 strikeouts tonight. Tong is in such a good rhythm. Changeup, fastball. Back to the combio to put away Williams. Here's Nick York, 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. First pitch, wave and a miss. Whiffed on a fastball at 95. And Tong's been working on the velocity. He's even touched 99 miles per hour this year. Credits a lot of it to the weight room. 0-1, swing and a miss, another fastball, quickly ahead, 0-2. He said the weight room's the thing that's helped me the most. You know, every pitcher does those radar gun checks. They're lying if they say they don't. It's worked out for him. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Outside with a change, 1-2. Tong's a guy that, like I said, not exactly the big, beefy, Paul Skeens-sized pitcher. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a grounder down the third baseline. Backhand stop De Los Santos. It kicks away. And York's at first with an infield single. Jonah said he was very small in high school. Said he was around like 4'8" his freshman year, and he just kept on growing from there. I asked him, I was like, did you go from throwing 50 miles an hour to 85 in an instant? He was like, you know, pretty much. It took him a couple of years in high school, and all of a sudden, he really started to grow into himself. 1 out, runner at first. Nick Solak up to bat. He's 0 for 2. First pitch, check swing, called strike, 0-1. The Mets have done a great job holding Nick Solak at bay this series. One of the league's best hitters. Came into today first in batting average at 341. 0-1 is blooped into left center field. Azokar ranging back. This one drifts all the way to the warning track, and he makes the catch. Jose Azokar has been so important today. He has stolen hits several times. That easily could have been extra bases. He's got speed, range, and he read that one well to make the catch on the edge of the track. So with 2 outs, there's a runner at first, and Cam Devaney comes up. Tong has struck him out twice tonight. 3-0 Mets. 2 away in the 6th. Tong from the stretch. He kicks and throws. Fastball up high. 1-0. Sanchez goes out to talk with Tong. We touched on this earlier. This is pretty impressive how well Tong is pitching, given the fact that this is his first time throwing to Ali Sanchez in a game. Mets just picked up Ali this week with some injuries they've had in the big league club. Francisco Alvarez out, Hayden Sanger helping out the major league team. And by the way, Hayden had a huge game yesterday with a handful of RBIs and a big 12-7 win over the Braves last night. But Sanchez adding some good depth with plenty of major league experience. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul. Out of play to the right side, 1-1. Jonah Tong, the 22-year-old from Markham, Ontario. Facing off against Cam Devaney, who's had a heck of a season. 20 homers this year in AAA. 1-1 the count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Here's the pitch. Devaney pops it foul again, and Tong's got him right where he wants him. York leads off of first. Tong tucks the ball in his mitt. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back, and Devaney stays alive. But one thing Indianapolis was doing really well earlier in the game, they were fouling off close pitches and not swinging and missing much. Then all of a sudden, Jonah Tong said not so fast. Going to rack up some strikeouts. He's got 7 tonight. Opportunity for another K here. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up right center field. This one might get down. Ritter comes in. It drops into right field for a base hit. The throw to third is a little late. It rolls away from De Los Santos, and it allows Devaney to get into second. So the bloop single puts Nick York at third, and Devaney moves up on the throw. So all of a sudden, Indy's got 2 runners in scoring position with the game-tying run up to the plate. Two outs in the top of the 6th inning. That brings A.J. Sager, the Syracuse Mets pitching coach, out of the dugout. Going to go over the game plan for Flores, and as A.J. has told us this year, he doesn't like to be overly serious on these mound visits. Just tries to get guys to take a deep breath, try to make them laugh, loosen up. Bring them out of what just happened and try to keep them into the present. This is a fun matchup, though. Tong against Rafael Flores, who's 1 for 2 with a double. Flores starting to heat up. 7 for 17 in the series. He has a home run. Guy that was traded from the Yankees to the Pirates on deadline day for David Bednar. 8th-ranked Pirates prospect right now. Let's see what Tong serves him up here in the 6th. Devaney at second, York at third. Flores digs into the right-handed batter's box with an open stance. Waves the bat over his right shoulder. First pitch from Tong. Foul tip on a changeup, 0-1. Way out in front that time. Must have been expecting the heater. One of the best things that Jonah's done today. He has deceived hitters. Not sure whether they're getting the four-seamer or the changeup, and that's why he's thrown so many pitches in the zone that have been called strikes or whiffs. 0-1 pitch. Taken down in the dirt. Another change, and it's 1-1. Well, good opportunity for Flores here. He represents the game-tying run with runners at second and third. Goes to show how a 3-0 lead could change pretty quickly, but the Mets have been in the driver's seat today. 1-1 pitch is taken. Check swing, though, and he didn't go around. 2-1. 2 changeups and a 4-seam fastball. Now, Jonah's not afraid to stick to those 2 pitches, but we have seen the slider and the curveball as he's come around in the order the second and third time. 2-1. Flores way out in front of the change, and it's 2-2. Took a hefty hack at that one. Flores calls time and adjusts the batting gloves. Takes a deep breath outside of the right-handed batter's box. On a gorgeous Saturday night in Syracuse, full crowd on hand watching the young star, Jonah Tong. The 2-2 pitch. Flores watches a changeup inside for ball 3. That loads the count full. What a matchup here. So Flores has an opportunity to change this game, and Tong a chance to hold down a 3-0 lead. Sammy Ciani, the lefty, awaits on deck. Full count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jonah Tong, what a phenom. You've got to be kidding me. He strands 2 runners and preserves the 3-0 lead. Jonah Tong has tossed 6 scoreless innings so far. He struck out 8, only allowed 5 hits and 1 walk. Well, the Mets take their bats out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Joey Meneses up to bat against Drake Fellows. Scratch that. Reliever in. First pitch from Jack Little is fouled off by Meneses, and it's 0-1. Well, Fellows was pretty solid today. Tossed 5 innings and kept Indy in this game. He wasn't great, but he also didn't get a ton of help from the defense. Pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Walked 3, struck out 1. That's fouled off, and it's 0-2. Little tossing 48 innings this year, ERA just over 4. 42 strikeouts to 19 walks. 0-2, a grounder over to third. Fielded by Williams, he throws to first and gets Meneses in time for out number 1. That brings up Yanni Hernandez, who's 1 for 2 with a single. Keeping his on-base streak alive, 26 games right now. That was also a hit with runners in scoring position. Moved up the runners to later score on a fielder's choice and a sac fly. So here's Yanni, bent at the knees in the left-handed batter's box. The pitch is taken for a ball outside, 1-0. Yanni with the long royal blue sleeves under the navy blue jersey. Got the blue batting gloves to go with it. 1-0 pitch is fouled off, 1-1. Jack Little, the 27-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky. Originally drafted by the Dodgers in the 5th round 6 years ago out of Stanford. 1-1 pitch, outside, ball 2. Pitched with the Dodgers this season. He's ended up in the Pirates organization where he's been exclusively used as a reliever. Here's the closer for AAA Oklahoma City, 2-1. Popped up foul, and it's 2-2. One out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets lead at 3-0 over the Indians. Big game right now as the Mets are in playoff position. Well, they're in the race right now, just 2 games back of Scranton Wilkes-Barre. With a lot of baseball left to be played, including 6 games against those Rail Riders. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. He calls time and steps out. Scranton's beating Buffalo right now 8-2 in the top of the 6th. And I'm going to report a crime that's going on. Omaha is leading Columbus 23-2.
How many home runs do you think Omaha has hit in
Did
that
you
game?
look that up? You already saw that? 7.
No.
More?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So they have 23 runs on 24 hits, including 10 home runs.
2-2 is ripped into center field, and it's a day that ends in Y, so Yanni Hernandez is getting on base. A single with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. What is Jack Caglione's stat line? You got that?
Yes. He has 3 hits. He's 3 for 6 with 3 RBIs and a home run. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players with multiple hits and 5 players with at least 3 hits.
Wow. Holy cow. Here's Ali Sanchez, the new catcher, as Yanni takes off. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. Sullivan throws down. Not in time. Feet first slide. Yanni's in with a stolen base.
It's amazing how much more you could do as a team when you have a lead, right? Maybe if you're down 1 or down 2, you might not, steal in this spot. But the Mets have been more aggressive when they've had these 2 or 3 run leads. I like it.
A 1 pitch. He takes the ball inside, 1-1. Bringing experience to the group, the 28. Originally signed as an international free agent back in 2013 with the Mets, has played for a few different organizations since. 1-1, high drive deep to right. York going back. It is off the wall. Hernandez taking off for third. Sanchez trying to get to second. He slides in. Yanni's coming home. RBI double. 4-0 Syracuse. First day as a Syracuse Met in 2025, and Ali Sanchez has already left his mark on this game.
I mean, it was perfectly played by Yanni Hernandez, too. Knew if it got caught, he'd be able to tag up and move to third. Knew if it wasn't caught, he'd be able to score from second easily. And I mean, things are just coming up aces for the Syracuse Mets right now.
Well, with a runner at second, there's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Mets on top 4-0 with Luis De Los Santos coming up to bat. Sacrifice fly in the second and a fly out to center in the 4th. New York Mets with a 3-0 lead over the Atlanta Braves right now, top of the 4th. Clay Holmes, the starter for New York tonight. First pitch, De Los Santos takes the ball up high, and it's 1-0. Tight playoff race for the New York Mets right now, too. And this has been fun to watch, seeing what the former Syracuse Mets have done to help out. Nolan McLean specifically, 1-0, a called strike. 1-1. Had another fantastic pitching performance last night. Hayden Sanger has been a big help to the group as well. We're also starting to see some of the former, what people used to call the baby Mets, showing out. Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty hitting well over the past couple weeks. 1-1 pitch. De Los Santos swings and misses through a fastball. 1-2.
What a time of the year for those guys to maybe start hitting their stride. I think so. Average exit velocity for Mark Vientos has slowly but steadily climbed and is now at its highest point of the entire season right now.
That's a great sign. 1-2 pitch, popped up foul first base side, and it's out of play. Well, Mets are currently leading Cincinnati by a 1.5 games for the third wild card right now. Going to be a tight race, though. Cincinnati 67-62, New York 68-60. A 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go chasing? Check into the field. No, he didn't.
How about the news the Phillies got about Zach Wheeler, right?
I know, that is so tough. Their ace.
And I think even a lot of Mets fans, you're like, look.
I mean, those are the matchups you want to see.
Right. And Wheeler was a Met. I mean,
yeah.
Right?
2-2 pitch is lined to second. It's caught by Devaney. Throwback to second, not in time. There's 2 away. Wow. I mean, this Indianapolis infield has stunned this week.
I mean, that's such a rangy play by Devaney. Really nice job. Nearly got the double play, too.
2 outs for Jet Williams with Ali Sanchez at second. Mets leading the Indians 4-0. Jack Little from the stretch, he throws. First pitch lifted in the air, shallow right field. It's York jogging in, he's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Mets lead at 4-0. Top of the 7th inning, Jose Castillo is on the pitcher's mound. Fans, this call to the microphone as we make a pitching change to Michael Tricarico for the play-by-play.
Thank you. This and the pitching change are both brought to you by Verizon. Stay connected with Verizon, the network built right. Experience the power of 5G and reliable home internet with flexible plans tailored just for you. Verizon, because better matters. Jose Castillo replaces Jonah Tong, who was awesome. First pitch to Sammy Siani, misses the zone for ball 1. I mean, Jonah Tong just did Jonah Tong things. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. I think the most impressive aspect of Tong's start tonight is that when he got into trouble, he just rose to a whole new level. And there are some members of the New York Mets front office, the player development side, who are here in attendance. And, you know, I think front offices want to see guys get into a little bit of trouble. They don't want to see guys struggle or perform poorly, but they don't mind seeing when a guy gets into a little bit of trouble, because you want to see, hey, when you're in the big leagues in a big moment and you get into trouble, how are you going to respond?
I think they must have loved how he fed off that energy.
Pitch here to Siani is swung on and missed for strike 3. Jose Castillo pick it up where Jonah Tong left off, 1 away here in the 7th.
Yeah, welcome to the ball game, Jose Castillo. I mean, he has been locked down for Syracuse, but with Jonah Tong, he fed off the energy of that moment, because that was the game-tying run at the plate. 2 in scoring position. On a great Saturday night, clear skies, great crowd. Pitchers feed off of that type of thing.
First pitch to Jace Bowen, misses the zone for ball 1. You don't always get that atmosphere in the minor leagues, but, man, it's crowds like this, crowds like we had yesterday, where it is fun as a player to be part of this intimate setting. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss for strike 1 on an excellent fastball, 95 miles an hour from Castillo. Syracuse added a run in the bottom of the 6th, and the Mets lead 4-0 over Indianapolis. Here's the 1-1. Outside corner, strike 2, a slider from Castillo. Counts 1-2. Now Bowen's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Tong went 6 scoreless innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. 88 pitches, 63 were strikes. 1-2 the count on Bowen. Castillo, the left-hander set, and the pitch misses in the dirt. I mean, this is Syracuse team in the midst of a playoff race, and any time over the last many years Syracuse has been in a playoff race, the fans come out and support this team extra. 2-2, just misses high, moving the count to 3-2. And Jonah Tong, add him to the line of Syracuse Mets pitchers who have just starred at times this season. Here's the 3-2. Outside ball 4, so Bowen works a 1-out walk, and that brings Brett Sullivan to the plate. I mean, how fun was it to see the reaction, just that raw moment from Jonah Tong? Like a guy who is, it's not that he doesn't show emotion, but so many times he just, he's so even-mannered, and I think he knew that was the end of the line for him.
Yeah, he did. He knew how important that moment was, and like you said, that was going to be his last batter.
Pitch here to Brett Sullivan's over the plate for a strike.
Following the talk with AJ on the mound, a lot of build-up, 3-2 pitch. I mean, nothing's better than that.
And he struck out Rafael Flores, who's one of the top prospects in the Pirates organization.
Who put up a good fight and worked a good at-bat. But, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I think that's one of the best moments of the year.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a big at-bat.
Yeah, massive.
One swing, and it could have been a 3-2 game.
Right. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sullivan, the pitch. swinging a grounder foul. We'll have to show him like that. I'm sure Kylie Rochelle, who helps run our social media accounts and takes awesome photographs, I'm sure she took like an awesome photo of the moment. Show him that photo, show him the video, just like, and get his raw reaction. Hey, Jonah, what'd you think of this? I can only imagine the smile on his face. 1-2 on Sullivan with a runner at first. Castillo's set. 1 out in the inning, the 1-2. This is outside. It's 2-2.
I mean, you know what it reminds me of? On a smaller scale, think about that first Nolan McLean start for the Mets. He was feeding off the energy of the game, of the Major League debut, being in a big league ballpark, and he never let the moment get the best of him. He owned the moment.
Here's the 2-2, outside ball 3. And yet still, there might be a time where even if you keep it as straight-faced as possible, you just can't help but crack a smile like Nolan did on that play he made behind his back in his Major League debut, or, of course, Jonah today just letting out that emotion after the strikeout to get through 6 scoreless innings in his second AAA start. It's a 3-2 count right now on Brett Sullivan, 1 out in the frame. Boy, this guy that we're seeing on our monitor.
Wow.
Salt potato hat. He's got the beer glove with a beer in hand.
A Cholula shirt,
right?
hot sauce shirt.
All over. All right, here's the 3-2. Swinging a ground ball left side through into left field for a hit. Bowen up to second as Sullivan snuck that ball through. And, well, there's runners at first and second. It is why the Mets getting a run in the bottom of the 6th was important. Just a little bit of extra breathing room. But, I mean, this is an Indianapolis team that could score runs in bunches. So the Mets are certainly not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, you got to deal with the traffic here. You know, Castillo's been so solid this year, so not too much to worry about on a ground ball like that. The walks you don't love, but it's something you take with a guy that strikes out a lot of batters. I'm sure this meeting at the mound is helpful. Veteran move by Ali Sanchez to just slow his pitcher down for a moment.
Fans, that also gives us an opportunity to tell you about Coca-Cola. Are you craving a throwback treat with a fizzy twist? Coca-Cola Orange Cream is here, bleeding bold Coke taste with creamy vanilla and zesty orange. It's the soda that screams summer, nostalgia, and pure refreshment. Whether you're here at the ballpark or a backyard barbecue, grab a can and savor the smooth, citrusy chill. Available in regular and zero sugar. Coca-Cola Orange Cream, a flavor twist you can't resist. First pitch here to Sung-Chae Chang is over the plate, the sinker for strike 1. We were actually given some samples from Coca-Cola earlier today, so we might have to crack those. So I need a nice, refreshing drink on this warmer day. Ball here, grounded to second. Hernandez fields to second. 1 throw to first, not in time. Chang hustling down the line, reaches on the fielder's choice. That goes 4-6. Bowen moves to third. Sullivan out at second. Chang safe at first. But the Mets, most importantly, get a second out of the frame as Indianapolis does go back to the top of the order.
I think it was the right move putting Castillo in to face, the bottom of the order, which 3 of the 4 hitters are left-handed. Now let's see how Castillo does against a mostly right-hand dominant group if he has to face more than one of Alika Williams and, after him, Nick York, Nick Solak.
Here's the first pitch. Alika Williams takes down low for ball 1. Well, Castillo did face the Indians in the 8th inning on Tuesday, where at the time the Syracuse Mets and the Indianapolis Indians were tied at 3. It was 2, 3, 4 in the order, all right-handers. Here's a lob over to first. Ooh, boy, they saw Chang. He started to take off the sense that back to first. Got back safely before the throw. But, yeah, Castillo against Nick York, Nick Solak, Cam Devaney, and Rafael Flores on Tuesday. Got a pop-out, a strikeout, gave up the single to Devaney, but struck out Flores. Runner takes off from first. Pitch is swung on and missed. Throw down to second base is not in time. Bowen at third base thought about trying to score, but in a 4-run game elected to hold up at third.
I think Yanni Hernandez did a sneaky, really good thing that you wouldn't notice. above all, he made sure that ball wasn't going to get by him, because if that ball's in center field, you give up a run. Didn't make the catch or the tag. That's okay. He kept the ball in front.
1-1, swinging a clipped foul back into the left. And it's 1-2. And now Castillo, even after the stolen base, is one strike away from getting out of this inning. One ball, 2 strikes on Williams. Castillo set. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 2. I mean, again, Indianapolis isn't making life easy. That's for sure.
They're taking good pitches, not chasing a lot throughout this whole game. Tong finally baited him enough later on.
Ball here, grounded foul.
I mean, their first handful of at-bats were so tough. He was throwing a lot of competitive pitches right around the zone. They just weren't biting. And then eventually, he smelled blood in the water and racked up the strikeouts.
Syracuse 4, Indianapolis nothing. Top of the 7th inning here at NBT Bank Stadium. 2 in scoring position for Indy. 2 outs as Castillo, a left-hander, is set. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Sanchez applies the tag to complete the strikeout, and for the second straight inning, Indianapolis strands 2 in scoring position. Yes, that is an RC car coming from the Syracuse Mets dugout. If you're watching on MILB.TV and Bally Live, we'll talk about that in a moment. Indianapolis has made a call to the bullpen. Evan Sisk enters the game. He replaces Jack Little, who gave up 1 run in the 6th. Allowed 2 hits, no walks, and no strikeouts. Sisk faces Jose Azocar to begin the frame. Here's the pitch, and it misses high for ball 1. So the Syracuse Mets will use a little RC car to deliver things from the third base Mets dugout to the left field Mets bullpen. 1-0 swing and a miss for strike 1. Most notably will be the PitchCom device that Syracuse uses, so that device that goes in pitchers' hats so they can hear the signal, the pitch that the catcher wants them to throw. Ball here is grounded to second. Devaney fields in, throws to first in time for the out. So as opposed to having a person go back and forth between the dugout and the bullpen.
21st century.
Yeah. I believe A.J. Sager, Syracuse's pitching coach, was, I don't know if he was scrolling through like Facebook or the interweb or was on Amazon, and I think he saw this RC car. I'm going to have to double check this, but I believe the story goes that he saw this car and was like,
why not?
That would kind of be a little fun. That not only would that be fun, it actually sounds pretty efficient.
Yeah.
You could just stay where you're at, sit down, let the car do all the work. Here's the 1-0 to Young. It's over the plate for strike 1. So yeah, you'll see that little RC race car during the game sometimes go along the warning track from the third base Syracuse dugout all the way to the left field Syracuse bullpen. Ball here grounded right side through into right field for a hit. It is a 3-hit day for Jared Young. Back like he never left after an off day yesterday. And the Mets have a 1-out base runner with Pablo Reyes coming to the plate. So getting into the heart of the Syracuse order. Heart of the order brought to you by St. Joseph's Health, Syracuse's healthcare power hitters. And this is your ABM Industries cleanup hitter, Pablo Reyes, batting from the right-hand side. First pitch is a strike. ABM Industries is the preferred janitorial services of the Syracuse Mets. They do a great job day in and day out. Had more than almost 9,000 fans here yesterday. And you come back today and everything was in tip-top shape. Appreciate the folks at ABM Industries. Throw the first, had Young back safely standing up. 4-0 Syracuse. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Lights shining on a picture-perfect Saturday night here in central New York. 0-1. Swing and a looper foul back into the right. Hard to believe that after today, we'll only have 7 home games remaining. Mets have 3 weeks on the road and
flying by.
Jeez. Only 1 series left. So if you're out there watching and saying, I'd love to get out to NBT Bank Stadium, Well, you either have tomorrow or you have the second week of September. The Mets will take on the AAA Red Sox. 0-2. That misses high. 1-2 on Reyes. Mets 4, Indians nothing. Great look at some of our crew as this ball goes off of Sisk. First base side, picked up by Sisk, and the flip to first is not in time. That's an infield hit for Pablo Reyes. And, well, you hope Sisk is okay because that seemed like it had to hurt a little bit no matter where it hit him.
Well, he's doing a great job of making it look like he didn't. I think he's pointing to his right arm right now. That was a hard-hit ball, 92 miles an hour off the bat. Oh, wow. He almost got the glove on it, but trying to stop it, deflected it with his right arm.
Yeah, Young held up for a moment because he was like, wait a minute, is he about to catch that? Oh, okay, I'm going to head on down in a second. Yeah, I mean, either on the shoulder blade or shoulder or somewhere on that right arm. I mean, he gave a great effort to try and catch that baseball. I suppose the good thing is that's the non-throwing shoulder. I mean, there's no good news about getting hit with a line drive right back at you, but I suppose you would prefer it to be the non-throwing shoulder than the throwing arm. Just going to throw a pitch or two here. Throws one pitch and says, yeah, I'm okay. So he will stay in the game. Chase Sugar is warming for Indianapolis past the right center field wall as Luke Ritter steps to the plate with one out and runners at first and second for Syracuse. I mean, it certainly would be helpful to this Mets bullpen if Syracuse could tack on a run or two here and give Syracuse's pitching staff even more breathing room. The pitch is a called strike with a sinker at the knees, and it's 0-1. By the way, if you have been watching or listening and you want to see what we've been talking about just in terms of Jonah Tong's reaction, a one swing and a miss strike 2, go to our Syracuse Mets social media accounts, Syracuse Mets on X. I believe it's on Facebook and Instagram as well, but certainly on X, formerly known as Twitter. Jonah Tong, Kylie Rochelle took awesome photos of Tong's reaction.
Unbelievable pictures.
I mean, just heat of the moment. 0-2 foul straight back of Tong just like letting it all out as he picked up his 8th strikeout to strand 2 in scoring position and get through 6 scoreless frames. So check out that group of 4 photos that Kylie took of Jonah. 0-2. That misses down low, and it's 1-2. That's the emotion that you love to see in sports. I think there were some Syracuse fans or broadcasters alike that had maybe not quite to the same degree as Jonah's reaction, but like a similar reaction there. 1-2, swing and a miss. That was an excellent sinker from Sisk to strike out Ritter for the second out of the frame.
That's what it's all about, watching these young players grow day in and day out. And the one thing we've already seen from Tong is, aside from the pitching itself, but the confidence, the demeanor, the presence on the mound, it's there already. He's just 22.
Pitch here is chopped softly to short. It's fielded by Chang, and he flips to second for the final out of the frame. Syracuse still maintains a 4-0 advantage as we go to the 8th. Back at NBT Bank Stadium on a gorgeous Saturday night at the ballpark. The Syracuse Mets lead the Indianapolis Indians 4-0, and Syracuse has made a call to the bullpen, which is brought to you by Verizon. Stay connected with Verizon, the network built right. Experience the power of 5G and reliable home internet with flexible plans tailored just for you. Verizon, because better matters. Well, the Mets have been better tonight. 4-0 lead over Indianapolis as Ross, one of Syracuse's most talented young relievers, steps to the mound. Faces Nick York in the heart of this Indianapolis lineup. First pitch, fastball inside against the right-hand hitting York for ball 1.
I know it's simple, but I like seeing a first pitch fastball from Ross, who's thrown a lot of splitters, which is a great pitch. This fastball is also in the high 90s.
1-0 swing and a miss. There's the slider at 88 miles per hour. shifting the count to 1-1.
You know, he has the potential to be an incredible reliever with the high 90s heater, devastating slider, devastating splitter.
Here comes the 1-1 to York. Bounces in the dirt. 90 miles an hour, and the count's 2-1. You know, for the first time all season, Ross had a bad outing. 13th of August in Rochester, a third of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He hit a batter, he walked a batter. He didn't have a strikeout. And then he bounced back 3 days later as the 2-1 misses high for ball 3. And against that same Rochester lineup, he threw 2 scoreless innings with 1 hit, no walks, 3 strikeouts. And that's kind of the learning process for a guy like Ross, who is in just his first full professional year. 3-1 is high for ball 4, so a bit of an uncharacteristic walk. He walks the leadoff man York with Syracuse in front 4-0 here in the top of the 8th, and that brings Nick Solak to the plate.
Leadoff walks are frustrating, but this group at the top of the order, they don't really make it easy on you. You know, like we talked about earlier, they foul off enticing pitches. They don't chase a lot. It's exactly what happened with York.
Solak batting from the right-hand side. Here's the pitch, and it misses with the slider outside for ball 1.
With that being said, the Mets have done a nice job, specifically Tong and Castillo combining for 10 strikeouts already today.
I mean, this pitching staff is at its best when it's racking up the strikeouts. 1 ball, no strikes the pitch. That's on the outside corner for strike 1. Ross, a 13th round selection by the New York Mets in 2022, but because of injuries, hasn't played a full season of professional baseball. This is slated to be his first if he gets through the last month and a half of the season, and I mean, so far it has been quite the ride for Dylan Ross, where if he was not on folks' radars in terms of being a very viable option out of the bullpen for the New York Mets in the not too distant future, he's certainly on the radar now, that's for sure. 1 ball, 1 strike on Solak, who's 0 for 3 today with 3 flyouts to center, but all well-struck balls. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss with the splitter. Outside corner, it's 1-2. And for Ross, it wasn't always necessarily the ERA. He had a good ERA at some of the lower levels. But with Binghamton, sometimes he would have a couple of outings where he allowed an increased number of runs. 1-2. Swinging a fly ball, well hit right center field. Zokar tracking back with space in there to make the catch. Boy, he has been all over the place in center field today. I mean, again, Solak, 4 flyouts to center.
Yeah, I mean, Zokar's a sneaky MVP of the game. Obviously, Tong was outstanding, but multiple times today he's stolen hits and saved runs from being on the board. He's been a game changer. It's the best we've seen him all season. You know, I don't care that he doesn't have a hit today. He's 0 for 4, but he has the value of going 4 for 4, to be honest.
I mean, he's probably saved at least 2, if not 3 runs for Syracuse. And that's not an overstatement. It's not an exaggeration. First pitch to Cam Devaney, swing and a miss for strike 1. York leads off of first. Here's the 0-1. Bounces in the dirt. Nice stop by Sanchez behind the plate. Count moves to 1-1. And, you know, with some pitchers here in the minor leagues, you know, a lot of times what you look at is that walk to strikeout rate. Not necessarily how many runs a guy has given up. It's important, but I think what for some of these relief pitchers is even more important is that strikeout to walk ratio. Because earned run average sometimes, you know, when taken out of context can be difficult. Ball here grounded to third, fielded by De Los Santos, and the throw to second was not a good one. De Los Santos taps his chest as he looked at Yadi Hernandez, saying, yeah, that was my bad. Could have been an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. Instead, it's a fielder's choice E5. And look, the Mets have a 4-run lead, but when you were going to be out of an inning and now you have the tying run in the on-deck circle, yeah, it's not ideal.
It's a play De Los Santos makes plenty of times, but the underhand throw just sailing a little bit left of Hernandez. Good thing he, knocked it down, kept it in, and nothing too bad, but would love a ground ball here.
Here's the pitch to Flores. It's over the plate for a strike. So it's runners at first and second here for for Indianapolis, rather. Ross is set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Flores had a double in the second, flied out to center field on a ball that Azócar tracked down in the fourth, and then struck out swinging to end the sixth with 2 in scoring position for Indianapolis. It's 2 on base for the Indians right now on a gorgeous Saturday night in front of another electric crowd here at NBT Bank Stadium. No balls, 2 strikes on Flores. Ross set. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to short. Williams fields the second one. The turn to first. In time double play. Took an extra batter, but the Mets get that double play on the Dylan Ross splitter. Syracuse Mets pitchers have thrown 19 consecutive scoreless innings against the Indians this week. Well, a new pitcher into the game for the Indianapolis Indians as we start the bottom of the 8th with Syracuse leading 4-0. It's Sugar enters the game for the Indians. You may recall the name from when he was in the Boston Red Sox organization. He pitched a lot against Syracuse when he was with Worcester. The AAA Red Sox was with the Red Sox in Worcester in 2022, 23, and 24. Also got some time in the big leagues. First pitch to Yanni Hernandez. Misses upstairs for ball 1. Sugar has spent most of this season in the big leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 3.50 ERA in 34 appearances across 43 and 2/3 innings. Pitch misses inside. This is a guy who finally got an opportunity in the big leagues last year with the Boston Red Sox, made 6 appearances with Boston, but was never one of those consistent options. 2-0. That misses the zone, and it's 3-0. Eventually, Boston designated him for assignment in early January, and the Pittsburgh Pirates claimed him off waivers and have kept him in their organization all season long. 3-0 a strike. It's 3-1. He has spent some time on Pittsburgh's injured list at knee in July, has been working on some rehab assignments. Finally, after his rehab assignment ended, optioned here to AAA Indianapolis, where he has worked from a 3-0 count to a 3-2 count on Yanni Hernandez. 2 hits today for Yanni. Think about this. Of players with at least 200 plate appearances, nobody has a higher batting average this season than Yanni Hernandez.
That's why I'm telling you, this isn't a fluke. He's just that good of a hitter. There really should be a spot for him in the major leagues next year. There really should.
Yeah.
Whether that's with the Mets or any of the 29 other teams, Yanni Hernandez is a big leaguer.
3-2 clipped foul, because it's not just what he does at the plate, it's what he does defensively. Second, short, the few times he's played at third base, he's really impressed us. Takes a great attitude, understands his role in the organization, and just comes day in and day out. Love to play the game of baseball. 3-2 on Yanni. Here the pitch. Inside ball 4. That's the other. He's not afraid to take a walk. He's like, I know my game. This pitch is being challenged by Brett Sullivan, the catcher. So Yanni's heading on down to first. He's looking back saying, is this a strike? It's like, I think it was a ball. All right. He's like, I was right. It was a ball. Worth the challenge. Why not? From Indianapolis, I suppose.
Yeah, not a bad challenge by any means. Look how close that was. And I honestly I think it was Sugar that challenged it from the mound, which we rarely see. If anything, the pitcher who did it the most in the minor leagues was wearing that uniform, and it was Paul Skeens when he was an Indianapolis Indian. There were viral clips over and over again of him tapping his hat, getting the challenges right.
Sometimes guys just know the strike zone. And that's a balk. Wow. Yanni Hernandez was pointing it out, making Ham the crew chief and first base umpire agreed. Yanni pointed wait a minute, that you can't, whatever that was, you can't do that. There are multiple ways to balk. Herm Card, who's our resident umpire, will tell you all those ways. But yeah, I think it was, it's weird as the pitch here is clipped foul to the backstop. You say with a balk, the pitcher deceived the batter. Always looking to deceive the batter or the runner. They illegally deceived the batter or runner, either with how he came set or how his foot kind of planted. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a chopper first base side. Fielded by Solak, but it'll advance the runner as Yanni Hernandez moves from second to third. Productive out from Ali Sanchez on the ground out to first. One away in the inning, but a runner at third for Luis De Los Santos. Well, we've talked about this Syracuse infield, De Los Santos part of it. Syracuse Mets infield turned an inning-ending double play at the top of this 8th inning. Here's the first pitch to De Los Santos, breaking ball strike. That inning-ending double play in the top of the 8th is a quality connection. Brought to you by Northland Communications, providing telecommunication services to the Central New York community for more than 110 years. 0-1 sweeper, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Syracuse 4, Indianapolis 0. We're in the bottom of the 8th. One out, runner at third, and the Indians infield is in. Scooch banging that cowbell, the crowd clapping along to it. Here in the bottom of the 8th. 0-2. Swing and a foul back into the right. Scooch just like a maestro. And the crowd.
He's guiding his orchestra.
Yeah, right? No balls, 2 strikes on De Los Santos. Scooch now giving fist bumps to the kids behind home plate. Here's the pitch. This is up and away for ball 1. We've got some interesting jerseys down there.
I was just looking at that, too. There's 2 Juan Sotos.
3, actually. 3 different. Home Juan Soto, black jersey Juan Soto, and then the blue jersey Juan Soto.
And then what's all the way to the left? Pete Alonso. City Connect Pete.
1-2 misses low for ball 2.
The red one was
that Trevor Williams? Washington Nationals jersey?
No, that's Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Trevor Williams would have been
easily confused, but that was in
pull.
fact Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay. I was going to say.
Understandable red jersey.
2-2, chopper over the mound at second, snared by Devaney, who looks the runner back and throws to first. Okay, Cam Devaney, just Indianapolis. I'm going to tell the Indianapolis social media team right now. We've got your highlights for you. Find every 4-3 ground out in this game. It's Cam Devaney making a stellar play. Clip those together, post it on social media. You guys can come up with a great caption. But Pittsburgh
the whole
Pirates fans will
infield.
love. I mean, geez.
I mean, Chang's been flashing leather. It's a good group. It truly is.
You could block out the score if you want. We won't be offended. We get it. Here's Jet Williams batting from the right-hand side. Here's the pitch. Misses outside for ball 1. It's unfortunate we don't get to see, Indianapolis more often. We haven't been to Indy since 2019. Haven't been able to see our friends in Indiana. Here's the 1-0. It's over the plate for a strike. Could go to the Indianapolis 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That could be our NBT Bank on the go. We could have some fun out there.
Well, we're not going next year either.
No, we're not. That schedule's out.
I already have the 26 schedule.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. I'm going to put it out into the universe. Powers that be, 2027, can Syracuse please go to Indianapolis? Let's just go to the place.
Your pleas have not worked so far in terms of schedule, standings, and playoffs, and
none of it.
None of that.
1-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. My one plea today, though, is the Syracuse Mets win. And Syracuse is 3 outs away from making that come true. Jack Gordon, I'm Michael Tricurico. So happy to have you joining us on this gorgeous Saturday night. Comfortable temperatures with a nice light breeze blowing. Another electric crowd here at the ballpark. Had nearly 9,000 fans here in Syracuse yesterday. Not quite as large of a crowd today, but they have been just as loud, if not louder, And the Mets have put on quite the show. 4-0 Syracuse in front as we start the ninth. Dylan Ross back to the mound for the Mets. Sammy Ciani leads off for Indy in the pitch. This is high for ball one. Ciani's 0 for 2 today with a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. Meanwhile, Ross allowed a walk in the eighth, but got a fly out, a ground out. 1-0 pitch over the plate for strike one. A fly out, a fielder's choice error extended the inning, but a 6-4-3 double play ended the frame. Here comes the 1-1 to Ciani. Strike in the outside corner, it's 1-2. Syracuse does have some action in its bullpen, just in case. Ross at 18 pitches, probably figuring Mets will have him around the 30-pitch mark, so we'll see if he can get the 3 outs with those pitches to utilize. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a tip into the catcher's mitt, strike 3. Sanchez holds on, and there's one away here in the ninth.
I love giving Ross a chance to get 6 outs here. He was pretty solid in the eighth, obviously. Why not give him another opportunity, try to go the distance.
Be the second time over his last 3 outings he would get through 2 scoreless innings. First pitch to Jace Bowen. He's a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1.
Think about some of the best relievers in the game. A lot of them at times are stretched to 4 or 5 outs, sometimes 6.
0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. I think it's also probably good in terms of building stamina.
Yeah.
Even if, okay, you go up to the majors and you're only going to be used for 1 inning, your arm's been built up so much that you can just get more out of even just the 1 inning.
Especially for Ross, who this is his first full season, so he's just getting stronger and stronger.
0-2 clipped foul back into the left. Syracuse 4, Indianapolis nothing. It's Chris Davinsky who's warming in the Syracuse bullpen past the left field wall. Pitched on Tuesday for the Mets. 1 out in the inning. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a ground ball foul, third base side. No balls, 2 strikes on Bowen with 1 out. Mets 4, Indians nothing here in the top of the ninth. Ross is set. Abbreviated full windup. 0-2 is taken high for ball 1. 97 miles an hour with the fastball. Ross up to 24 pitches now. Cool breeze still blowing out to center field. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a broken back grounder to the third. Fielded by De Los Santos, and the throw to first is in time to get Bowen for the second out of the frame. Well, Syracuse shut out Indianapolis last night. It was the first time that Indy had been shut out since May 25th. So they had gone 73 straight games with at least 1 run.
That's the kind of offense they are, which they just create runs, not by a lot of extra base hits or home runs. They just produce with good offense. We saw that early in the season, or early in this series. That goes to show just how good the Syracuse pitching has been over the past 2 days.
1 ball and no strikes on Brett Sullivan. The pitch is lifted foul out of play for a strike. It's also how you get to 21 games over 500. I mean, they're 72 and 51 entering today. They were shut out the first game of the season, but they have not been shut out in back-to-back games all season long. In fact, Toledo was one of the rare teams that actually shut them out multiple times. Toledo shut Indy out 3 times in 6 games. That was the worst stretch of the season for this Indianapolis team. They lost 5 out of 6 games against Indy. They haven't lost 5 out of 6 games against anyone else all season long. 2 balls, 1 strike on Sullivan. Here's the 2-1. Fastball strike, outside corner. It's 2-2. Last time Indianapolis scored, it was the 7th inning on Thursday night. Syracuse looking for 20 consecutive scoreless innings against one of the top offenses in the International League. Mets 4, Indians nothing. Top of the ninth, 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 to Sullivan. Taken low for ball 3. Another fastball, 97 miles per hour. Sullivan's 1 for 3 today. A fly out, a ground out, and a single. Syracuse 4, Indianapolis nothing. Top of the ninth, 2 outs, and Sanchez calls time to beat the pitch clock. Wow,
Ooh, very smart. Very smart. Sanchez has showed that he's a big leaguer today.
That's why the Mets went out and signed him. Look, he's not a guy that has the most big league experience, but if you spend parts of 3 or 4 different seasons in the bigs, was in the big leagues earlier this season with Toronto, briefly with Boston.
There's a reason teams keep signing him.
Yes.
Good defense, good leadership. Sometimes that's all you need.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go again. Mets 4, Indians nothing. Top of the ninth, 2 outs. Here's the 3-2. Taken for a cold strike 3 on the inside corner with a splitter. Syracuse shuts out Indianapolis for the second straight night. It's the first time all season Indianapolis has been shut out in back-to-back games. Call it 20 consecutive scoreless frames for this Mets pitching staff. Jonah Tong throws 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts in his second AAA start. Jose Castillo pitches a scoreless 7th, and Dylan Ross with a scoreless 8th and 9th en route to Syracuse's 4-0 win over Indianapolis on a Saturday night.
This team was way too good to keep falling, on the wrong side of the scorecard, not producing runs, not pitching to the best of its abilities. Well, these last 2 nights, this is who this Syracuse Mets team is. Dominant starting pitching. Tyler McGill last night. One of the best pitchers in all of minor league baseball, if not the best, in Jonah Tong. That's what you're getting out of this group. Pure dominance on the pitcher's mound.
So the Syracuse Mets beat the Indianapolis Indians 4-0. We will go downstairs in just a moment where Brennan Miller has our player of the game, Jonah Tong, who we said just pitched 6 scoreless innings in his second AAA start with 8 strikeouts. Let's go downstairs to Brennan.
Jonah Tong, the winning pitcher here tonight, making his Syracuse debut. Second start for you here with the Syracuse Mets. How are we feeling? Obviously, you get through 6 innings, 8 Ks, a really nice performance for you today.
Yeah, it was a heck of a job from everybody. That game's not that game without Jose out there and Ali behind the plate, so just really happy we got the win there.
Worked into a few jams there at the start of the game. First 2 innings, 2 runners on, but Jose makes some great plays out in center. Tell me a little bit about how good you feel with some of those guys' gloves out there behind you.
Man, it's everything I could ask for, because I'm like, I didn't make a good pitch right there, praying that he's going to make a play back there, and even the one in the corner was crazy, so.
Yeah, some really nice plays defensively, but hey, worked out of some jams with the strikeout as well. 8 Ks for you tonight, a really impressive performance. When you get into those, how do you lock in and really be sure to make your pitches?
One pitch at a time. I've been there before, so it's pretty much that simple.
Well, Jonah, I'll tell you, we're very excited to have you in Syracuse. 2 starts, and tonight, no runs on the board, helping us to that win. We appreciate it. One more question for you. Having these Syracuse fans pick you up when you left the game in the 6th, how'd it feel to have that standing ovation as you made your way to the dugout?
Awesome. Thanks to all the fans. I really appreciate you guys being out here, so we don't do this without you guys.
We're happy to have you, and we wish you luck for the rest of the season. Fans, let's hear it one more time for your winning pitcher, Jonah Tong.
All right, thank you so much, Brennan, and thank you, Jonah. We'll have our Visit Syracuse post-game show for you after this on Bally Live on the Score 1260. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse. 4-0 the final score. Syracuse shuts out Indianapolis. And with Jack Gordon, I'm Michael Tricarico inside the Visit Syracuse broadcast booth. Jack, this is an Indianapolis team that is one of the best offenses in the International League. They have not been shut out back-to-back games all season long. That's what the Syracuse Mets team did tonight.
I mean, the pitching staff needs a standing O and another standing O, a tip of the cap, everything you can do. 6 scoreless from Tong. Somehow he one-upped himself from last time out. In his debut, he goes 5 2/3. This time he said, I'm getting through the 6th inning, which he did. Castillo goes an inning, scoreless, and Dylan Ross pitching 2 innings at the end of the game. That's a guy that's very close to becoming a big leaguer and will really be an impact arm one day.
Yeah, so Syracuse ends up beating Indianapolis 4-0 tonight. Jonah Tong with the 6 scoreless innings. Maybe the most impressive part of his start was that every time he got himself into a little bit of trouble, he just rose the game to a new level. Got some help from his defense, but it got the job done. The Syracuse Mets, after dropping 3 in a row to the Indians, have won back-to-back games. We've got the series finale for you tomorrow, 1:05 first pitch. For Jack, for our entire crew, I'm Michael, saying so long from Syracuse, and thanks for watching on Bally Live and MILB.TV. Good night.